guys, I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with another beautiful, lovely, sometimes she has been known to make this man a sandwich, wife of mine, light of my life, Yanzi Lynn.
Hi.
And today is the day we're talking a little bit more about Decimated DC as they cry for attention, talking about every single character's sexuality. And let's get into it. Now, I've worked in the American comic book industry for over 20 years, today doing crowdfunding with such glorious campaigns as Inglorious Rex, right now crossing $260,000, going on up. Could it be 261? Who knows? But a link is down below in the video. Please check it out if it's something you're interested in. Now, with being a comic book professional, first you have to be a comic book fan. And as a comic book fan, one of the very few things I rarely ever cared about was the sexual preferences of my character, unless it was Spider-Man and Mary Jane or Batman and Lois Lane. I quite frankly didn't care about love interest. Maybe Gambit and Rogue I cared about, Cyclops and Jean Grey, sure. But I really, if there wasn't tension in the story between those characters, I really wasn't caring about that. I wanted basically to see Superman punch Lex Luthor, or Batman punch Joker, or Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. That was basically it. I mean, I understood that the character, that their persona probably had some type of love life, sure, but I really wasn't reading the books for Peter Parker. I really wasn't reading the books for Clark Kent. You know, I was basically there for the action and adventure and the spandex. Now, somehow all that's different today in DC Comics. DC Comics has had this, honestly, they're doing it at breakneck speed. They're going through and punching the ticket of every character and putting a label, or they're bisexual, or in this case, Hal Jordan is pansexual. Now,
Yay.
What does that mean? Hal Jordan wants to use his power ring and make a frying pan and have sex with it? Maybe a construct. Well, you're out in the galaxy doing dares and do's, and you get a little bit like lonely. He can always make a frying pan construct and F the shit out of that frying pan, right?
All right, well, but okay, let's be serious for a moment. So the real definition of pansexual, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is someone who is not limited in sexual choices with regards to biological sex, gender, or gender identity. Now you might say, what's the difference between that and bisexual, which means you like both men and women? Well, pansexual means that you also like trans men and trans women. Basically, you don't care what someone's gender identity is, you like them. So I guess the reason why Grant Morrison here is trying to say that Hal Jordan is pansexual, according to them, is because Hal Jordan has the whole universe at his disposal, and he would tend towards a more broad-minded approach when it comes to romantic partners. Now, we all know Hal Jordan is a hell of a player. He's a hound dog. He goes chasing after skirts everywhere. He's kind of like Green Arrow in a way, you know? I'm also the Bruce Wayne persona. But just because you're open to having relations with alien species, pansexuality implies that he will also be interested in the opposite gender and opposite sex. And I don't think we've seen any evidence of that ever, right?
Here's the thing. As American comic book artists, especially in superheroes, basically you're drawing a figure. When you draw an alien in a comic, for the most part, and I've worked on Green Lantern, I created a lot of the Red Lanterns for DC Comics. Now, Belize, obviously, she's an alien. I created Belize, the Red Lantern character. She obviously looks like a female. Does that mean she's an Earth female? No, that whatever planet she's from, right? Blue-skinned alien girl. That's basically what I designed. Now, obviously, she has the curves. She has legs. She has boobs, pretty face. Obviously, you know, modeled after the ideal woman physique. So this gets really murky with using genders and alien species, because what is a female on Earth? Technically, is that a female on that planet? Every one of these alien species technically would have their own, maybe a different reproductive system altogether. Maybe they just sing songs to one another and they get knocked up. Who knows? Maybe they pollinate like plants. Well, like, we don't know. It's all fan fiction BS aliens anyways. But what's interesting is trying to stamp like what is a trending label on Hal Jordan because of this. Like, just because it's trending that there's pansexual now.
The issue is because DC Pride Month is coming up. It's not just Pride Month, it's DC Pride Month. Now, the reason why this story never came to fruition is because, unfortunately, editorial changes happened at DC Comics. And I guess Grant Morrison's run with Liam Sharp just wasn't selling like hotcakes. So they eventually cut the story short and didn't have time to tell this story. Look, just because you want to ban alien species, i.e. not human species, it doesn't mean you're pansexual, because that is really a weird, that's like giving a new definition to the word pansexual. Like over here, I'm reading in this article from Screen Rant saying, Hal Jordan, despite his past conservative leanings, has had relationships with non-earthlings before. So you're basically saying that conservative people can't be gay, they can't be lesbians, because that would be against their conservative values. Now, hang on a minute. Where do we even get the idea that Hal Jordan is conservative to begin with? So he's a test pilot. I guess maybe they think, military type people are they adhere to rules and stuff. So maybe they are sticklers for rules and therefore they are conservative. Maybe that's the definition? Maybe?
Yeah, but Hal Jordan was breaking the rules a lot of times. Like, he wasn't like a guy you could really keep in line, because he's full of willpower. He's very strong-willed, bullheaded type character.
Wait, so maybe they're calling him conservative because of that whole Green Arrow and Green Lantern run, where he's paired up against Oliver Queen. And Oliver Queen is they call him a bleeding heart liberal. But that was back in the day when Oliver Queen would qualify as a bleeding heart liberal. And according to today's Senate now, I think Oliver would probably be more like centralist, don't you think?
Right. And honestly, being in the center is, according to the radical left, is just as bad as being in the radical right. So there's to radical left, there is you're either on our side or you're against us. You can't be in between. So yeah,
I guess that basically puts into question when you want to say, oh, we think he's pansexual, we also think he's conservative. It's like, all right, by whose barometer are you measuring this by? But not just Hal Jordan. Recently, we also had the case of Green Arrow's son, Connor Hawke, comes out as asexual in DC Pride. So a little bit of background. Connor Hawke is Green Arrow's son. He was raised in a monastery.
Right.
And guess what? Obviously, sexual inclinations are not going to be at the top of his
So he abstained from sex. Does that make him asexual? No. See, what's happening here is they're picking characters at this point, and they're trying to stamp like a hashtag that's trending or something that's just popping up and more identifying sexualities out there. And if there's a flag, if they can put this character in front of a flag, like these images with Hal Jordan and now Green Arrow's son, the virtue signal is so strong with this dying, crippled company, the comic company, DC Comics, decimated DC. We talk about it all the time on this channel. Please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. This is basically what happens when a company, or the people running the company, more or less, or the people that the company hire, are absolutely creatively bankrupt. Like, so right now, if there was a brain trust, a creative brain trust at DC Comics, they're constantly going to Google and see if somebody's made a new flag for a new sexual preference, and that's their new story arc. In the case, but you could argue both these characters. Has Hal Jordan been lonely in space and found a beautiful alien woman to make love to? Probably. Did that make him like pansexual? Maybe the alien hot chick had a frying pan for a head and somebody made a joke and it stuck. I don't know. In the case of Connor, he's a monk. Does that make him asexual? That's like going around and calling every monk asexual, and that's not the case. They're not sexually practicing, but they are sexual in the sense that they're abstaining from sex as a type of religious testament to their belief. This is what DC Comics and the radical left don't actually understand, but you have to understand that SJW is trying to build a new language up under us. They're trying to rewrite the rules and history and everything else.
I think the funny part over here is how the SJWs are saying, well, don't you dare label us, don't you dare put us in boxes. And here they are labeling every single one of their characters' sexuality. When everyone forgets these are superhero comics, we just want to see a good old smackdown.
Right. I mean, why did people show up? Was it to read the sexuality of somebody who wears a mask? Probably not. They probably ran up to a beautifully colored action adventure comic book, pulled the paper out of their pocket in exchange for this paper product of escapism to read about action and adventure, not what that character identifies as. That, I mean, is that the big part? Is this the drawing factor to the American superhero today? Why are we here? Why is everything about their sexual preference? To me, honestly, this is going to sound offensive probably to somebody, but this is about as relevant to me as somebody wanting an action adventure comic as like if Batman is a vegetarian. I don't really care. I don't even know if it really, I don't really care what the character is eating in there. I mean, maybe stuff like that mattered with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I guess, because they ate pizza. But in this case, not so much. But anyways, guys, let us know below what you think about the creatively bankrupt SJW DC Comics. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. It helps the channel out. And we will catch you guys again with another video.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters, so now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the game. Can't control me.